Hi everyone, Justine here, and it's Therapy Thursday. So I am a little bit on the struggle bus, which I know also means that I am on the verge of some major growth because I'm learning that that's what that means. And so I want to talk a little bit today about, so we've talked a little bit before about like those limiting beliefs. And I've been working a lot around my limiting beliefs around money. And because I have several of them, I've changed a lot of them, but they are still plaguing me. And so what it brings up for me oftentimes is my ego, which we've all got our ego. The ego is that part of us that is begging to be seen, but not through wholehearted connectedness, through desperation to be noticed. Our ego that says, like the parts of our ego that are part of like our archetypes, like the child archetype, like, well, that's not fair. That's one of my famous ones. The victim, like, when is it going to be my turn? That often pops up for me. And so as I've been doing a lot of this like personal growth journey and combining it with a lot of my Rising Ever Upward work, I find that when I get on the shame train, right, that my ego likes to come in to like save the day, to make me not have to feel the shame, which I know better. I'm a therapist. Feel your feelings and name them and cope with them and allow them to pass through so they don't bite you in the ass. So that ego comes in for me, and I am finding that like it's not serving me. And so my job is not to squash the ego, because the ego is trying to keep us safe. It really, really is. My job is to acknowledge her and the different parts of her, like the part of her that is like the victim, that does feel that my life doesn't work out and it's not fair. The child part of my ego, like it's not fair. Like acknowledge her, let her know that her ways suck, and that I know better now, and that I write my truth, and I am worthy, and I am lovable, and I am valuable, and all of those things, that I do this work as a practice every day, not starting to believe them. Like, so again, those positive affirmations, watch that, because like, you can't just say you're enough and then you'll believe it, because I have had so many people quit saying that they are enough because they don't believe it. I don't need you to believe it right away. I absolutely need you to say it, and I absolutely need you to practice it. Act like you believe it. So that's in the self-care, changing your thoughts, filling yourself up, things like that. And so I don't know, there's this push and pull. It's the permission of the and, right? Like my ego is there to help me. And as I continue to grow in this journey and insight, I realize her patterns aren't working. They hold me back. They prevent me from being aligned with my values. They keep me in a space of scarcity and doubt and fear, which is never going to bring abundance and happiness, right? However, I must acknowledge how she feels. I must give her some validation, because that's important, because otherwise she's just going to feel like a tortured, desperate 2 or 3-year-old who's been pushed into a corner, and then the desperation and the scarcity really rears its ugly head. So, no idea if this makes sense. So I am going to acknowledge my ego, the parts of my archetype, the parts of my past that feel like this isn't fair, or that when is it going to be my turn, and let them know, like, I hear you. We're going to do it this healthy, wholehearted way. We're going to feel the feelings. We're going to talk about them. We're going to do this work of meditation and abundance and filling myself up and serving and coming from love and connection, because then it will happen and you won't feel so damn alone, because the ego feels really alone and works to keep us alone. Really, like, that's definitely a dichotomy there. So today, I want you to think about, what are those voices of scarcity, doubt, fear, the victim, the child, the ego? What are those voices saying to you? And like, how are they writing your story right now? How are they keeping you from living your authentic, happy, connected, joy-filled life? What feelings does that bring up for you? And then how are you going to rewrite it? Because we're rising ever upward. Make it a great day. Thanks so much.